Functioning pairs, 1/4 of the MBTI personalities falls into that valuing, which is sensing and feeling, and relating are best described as someone who is service-minded, seeks to help people in a very practical way, and is unselfish, kind, and understanding. So let's look at the general description. The general description of an ISFP is that they're quiet, sensitive, and kind, and they enjoy the present moment. They really like what's going on around them. They like to have their own space and to work within their own time frame. They're loyal and committed to their values and to people who are really important to them. And they don't like disagreements and conflicts, so don't try to force their opinions or values on them. They really prefer to be in a space where more harmony is. Their potential strengths are that they are skilled at gentle persuasion, craftsmanship, adaptability. They can build a consensus, so they're kind of like a peacemaker, and they have great people skills, even though they are an introvert. So let's look at goal setting within their careers. Their preferred method of doing goal setting is to have immediate and tangible goals, and they really like to take advantage of unforeseen opportunities. They really don't have any clear sense of long-term direction. This is one of their greatest potential obstacles. Others is that they may be actually waiting for the perfect job instead of making an action plan to get there. They forget, or maybe we should say tips for them would be to consider long-term goals and to take specific action plan. And you can create the action plan within those goals in order to reach them. Information gathering for ISFPs is really a very valid way to do things because they are going to consult experts by using career libraries, sources such as that. However, their potential obstacles is they tend to get very overwhelmed with details and they're going to miss some long-term potentials. One of the biggest problems that they really do have is when they are working, they miss out on the life of the job, meaning that they miss out on the people and the experiences and the relationships because they're too busy focusing on the facts. Some tips for them would be to explore the long-term lookout for their career, and as we talked about, ONET is a great place to do that, and ask people what they really like most about the job. So making contact, they really have a very collected sense of network of professionals. They don't like to go out of that comfort zone, and they are going to really get a detailed picture of experience. They do come across as a great team player. Some obstacles, though, is that they really miss opportunities because they have an unwillingness to network, and they appear very quiet during the interview. That's part of that introvert side. They may have difficulty answering some hypothetical questions or even projections of long-term what-ifs. And for interviewees, they tend to appear not very task-oriented. So some tips for the ISFP is to start with the close friends with your networking. LinkedIn, great place to start. Do some role playing. Ask a friend or a spouse to help you out. There's also career centers that can help you with these things. Prepare for hypothetical questions. Don't overwhelm people with too many details. And really be sure to point out how your people skills can really impact the bottom line of a corporation or an organization. Let's look at how you make decisions. You really like subjective, person-centered approaches, but you will always consider what is the most valued thing because your values are very important to you. So your obstacles, though, are really that you don't consider very logical consequences of some of your choices because you're more concerned about the values. And you are overly influenced by the impact of other people. So you will worry more about how your choices are going to impact other people instead of really thinking about what is best for you. The other problem that we see with the ISFP is that they put off decisions. So one of the greatest tips is set a deadline for that. Make sure that you have a deadline to decide things. Don't ignore the uncomfortable facts because they are there, even though they do make you feel uncomfortable. And consider all consequences. One of the easiest ways to do that is to create a list of pros and cons. Let's look at the most popular occupations for the ISFPs. Now, these are the most popular. It doesn't mean that if you're an ISFP, you have to choose one of these, but these are the ones that they tend to be found in. Assembler, electrical power repair, veterinary technician, coach, recreation worker, driver, and even a nurse's aide. So you can see how they all are helping. These are really helping kind of careers.